Take you to the Free State tonight because there are concerns in Bloemfontein about a low turnout among voters as the elections see more people heading out in the last hour and a bit of voting before voting stations close at 9 p.m. One of the people who are concerned is the ANC's Head of Elections in the province, Mr. William Bulwana, who's joining us live now. A very good evening to you, sir. Grateful for your time. Just how bad is turnout in the Free State from what you know so far?
Good evening, even to your viewers. By 6:30 this evening, it was around 25%, of which is very, very low. So we have requested almost everybody, foot soldiers on the ground, door knockers. We must use this remaining 2 hours up to the elections so that our people can turn out in numbers. But I can tell you, we have seen the queues. They have sent up some photos. Queues are very long now. I think people, they are just wanting the last minute. They are people of the last minute. But we are confident that it will pick up as it gets closer to 9 o'clock, and then before it closes at 9 o'clock, maybe we'll be voting. But we are very worried. We have been worried since from the morning with this voter turnout, of which is not satisfactory to the people of the Free State, even to those who are having the right to vote. So we are appealing to everybody to go and cast his vote for his choice where he wants to vote. But let's make sure that we are participating in this democracy, and then we make sure that we elect parties of our choices.
So here's the thing, Mr. Bulwana, you're appealing to people to go and vote. I will speak to you about the situation in Mangaung in Bloemfontein, where you're speaking to us from tonight, where people will say they don't want to vote, they feel no need to vote because, A, the Metro has been accused of going about the appointment or the hiring of Metro police officers in an irregular fashion. There was already an order for that to be stopped. You've got road construction projects that have been going on in Bloemfontein for years, still unfinished. I mean, the main road through the township that goes all the way up to the Petrus Molemela Stadium is a case in point, right? You've also got a situation where you've got that massive taxi rank in Bloemfontein built for the 2010 World Cup by an ANC government in the Metro that today in 2021 is still not functioning, even though millions of rand were spent. People are unemployed. Why should they care to vote?
Yeah, I think in our manifesto we have clarified those issues, that there's a lot that we have done, but we are accepting that there's a lot that we have not yet done. And then we have accepted and apologized to the people of the Free State and the people of the country through our manifesto, through our President Cyril Ramaphosa. So we are appealing to the people that they must exercise their right to vote, even if all the things that they are complaining about. But we are saying that we want to turn things around. Immediately after these elections, they will see some changes. And I'm confident in the next 5 years, they will never hear us apologizing to them. They will be happy about the services that we can give. So I'm appealing for them to go and vote. I'm not saying that they must vote for any party, but they must follow their conscience and cast their vote. They must not punish anybody because of they're not happy, they're angry about this and that.
But
so we are appealing to the people of the Free State of
They've
Malawi.
heard this, at least, and I'm speaking to you about the ANC because the ANC runs most of the Free State, and in particular Mangaung, when you're speaking to us from. People have heard this before. These promises were made in 2016, not just by yourself, but by the opposition parties. Yet it appears the capital of the province alone is actually regressing, even though, yes, you've got an ANC-run metro where the mayor was then sacked. You had a mayor, Olimlamleli, who was then arrested on a separate charge to do with corruption linked to the asbestos project. There was a vote of no confidence as things continue to worsen there alone. You go to Machabeng, where we were looking on Saturday, right here on Newzroom Afrika. You've got a collapse of services. People going without water for days on end. Electricity debt is through the roof. So a badly run council where people are running out of hope, so much so that they're turning to drugs and in some instances stripping buildings of metal just to get by. So apart from the ANC, overall, people are saying the politicians in the Free State, the political parties, are not worth hours outside in the sun.
Well, that's why in our manifesto we've accepted the weaknesses. That's why we have started by apologizing to the people of this country to say that we have failed you at somehow, but we are still saying that we are apologizing. We want you to trust us with your vote. And then we have made commitments, and then we have made all the plans of correcting. So we are in the self-correction situation that once we are voted in, we'll correct what has happened in the past. All those areas that we are talking about, including up to Kwakwa, those are the things that we know that there was a collapse of services, there was 1, 2, 3, but we are saying to the people of the Free State, trust us with your vote, and then we'll correct the mess that has been done. I think President went to lengths in the manifesto by clarifying that what kind of people that we are going to have,
Mr. Bulwana, I'm going to stop you there because, as you know, it is election day and you're not allowed to campaign, which is where this conversation is going now. I'd like to stick a bit more with the issue of voter turnout. I'm looking at turnout numbers released by the IEC in mid-October, and when you look at the Free State, already there was a worrying trend because in the Free State you only had about 1.4 million people registered to vote, compared, for example, to Gauteng, where the numbers were at 6 million, KZN at 5 million. So it's not entirely surprising, is it, that turnout is so low?
Yeah, I think it's about the population, and then you can't compare it with Gauteng, with close to 11 million people staying in Gauteng with 6 million registered. But here it's about the population. It's a small province. Number of people are staying there, only 1.4 registered, close to 2.8 people are staying in the Free State. So it's not a big province that we can compare with other big provinces, but we are appealing even to these smaller numbers that we have, that they must get out in numbers to go and vote.
William Bulwana, Head of Elections for the ANC in the Free State. Good to speak to you tonight, sir. So the ANC and other political parties then would have been watching the numbers keenly in the Free State. We're hearing now that turnout is worryingly low. As I was referencing, just over 1.4 million people have registered to vote there. And apologies for parts where that discussion may have gone into campaigning, because political parties really on this last day, we in the media are not trying to give them a platform to do a lot of campaigning. It's basically in your hands now because they've had a good month or so to convince you to cast your ballots in their favor.